do some of my best surfing in the web.
I thought you had somewhere else to be.
Enzo Matrix, you've changed more than I thought. What would Dot, fine woman that she be, think of her brother behaving in such a churlish manner?
Call me Matrix.
Hey, bits for brains! How many CPUs does it take to catch one sprite?
These Guardian bootlickers want me deleted too.
Well, blow me down.
Does he ever smile?
If he does, run very fast.
Hello, sprites! Welcome to episode 36 of Alphanumeric, the Lasercomb podcast where we talk about ReBoot. Seasons 1 to 4. And as Snidler likes to point out a lot, maybe that season that no one talks about, but who knows?
But we all love shit talking.
I have no idea what you're even talking about.
We all love shit talking. I am one of your hosts, Christopher Siege.
I'm another host, AP Snidler.
I'm another host, Lady Glitch.
And I am here too, NeoCal.
Tonight on Alphanumeric, we are discussing the 13th episode of Season 3 of ReBoot, Megaframe. It originally aired on January 3rd, 1998, which was my 13th birthday. 13th episode.
Happy birthday back in 1998, sir. Happy birthday. Here, I got you a thing.
Also,
oh, shit.
Yeah.
Hello.
Happy belated.
I got you a cake. Hang on.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I've actually... For the audio listeners, the Snidler is holding up a Joss Lewis.
A Joss Lewis.
Oh!
An ethereal Snidler hand came up.
An ethereal hand. An ethereal hand?
And just delivered.
Merry
To the
Christmas.
stage.
And happy Hanukkah.
I'm not sure if I
God
actually...
bless us, everyone!
Not sure if I actually said it yet. Sometimes I unplug from social media for like all week until I talk to all of you. It's not because I'm not online.
Not a bad idea, really.
But like any of you that PM me, sometimes it's like a day or two before I reply, and it's like midnight, and I'll be like, "Oh, cool, thanks." But I do check it, and when I do see it, I reply. So I never ignore things. I just leave stuff alone.
It's like, I know that when I send you nature photos and stuff, you're going to get to it eventually, but I know how much you like to balance your time online and offline, so.
When I see it, I immediately react. Hey, does this happen to anyone else? I will send a message on Twitter. I don't log on for like a day or so, and then I come up, I bring my PMs open or whatever, and the thing I thought I had sent, I swear was sending, is in the text area. Unsent.
Oh.
This has happened to me like 5 times.
It happens to me once in a while, but not on Twitter.
And on other things?
Like on Messenger, Facebook Messenger.
Bizarre.
Or
and
even in text, I'll be like, huh? Yeah.
Weird.
It's like
I
you think you hit the
weird.
send button and you didn't.
No, I swear I do. Why would I not? Why would I just enter the text and go, good enough, and then throw my phone away?
Seems like a very Cal thing to do.
It's not. So, folks.
So, as I understand it, sorry, but if I could just interject here, Christopher's never actually had a Joss Lewis before.
Is this a blind tasting?
You have not. So I'm gonna do this with you if you want. Let's do this.
I want you to
crack her open.
Judge it and critique it as you go.
Yeah.
I'm going to mute the microphone as I bite into this.
Yeah.
Out of respect for people like myself who have misophonia, which is a thing that I just discovered existed. So
it's very much a thing.
It's the plastic that's the loudest part.
Mm. But it's also when people are like smacking their lips and their mouths and they're full of food and they're like trying to maneuver the food around their mouths and they're just making an obscene amount of noise.
I'm very
It's very,
conscious.
very juicy sounding. It's nasty.
I'm very conscious because of my dad of like not making sounds, keeping my lips closed. I'm not perfect. It still happens, but oh boy, I am low on the spectrum of noises that people make when they eat.
I
I
gotcha.
am I'm around other people that grew up in a barn.
And they don't want people sounding like cows when they eat.
One
Oh,
of my earliest memories is I remember I was probably like 4 years old at the time. I was sitting on the floor, like, eating breakfast. I was eating eggs, specifically.
Hmm.
One does when they sit on the floor.
Yeah, I was sitting on the floor, like, up against the coffee table in the living room, and I remember my mom and my Aunt Dodie, may she rest in peace, sitting on the couch and being told I was chewing, I was eating and chewing my eggs, and I was chewing with my mouth open, and I remember being told to chew with my mouth closed, and I didn't listen. And my mom got up and like smacked me across the face like so hard that I actually spat food out.
You're how old?
I was probably like 4.
No.
I
And you
to
don't
this
remember
day don't chew with I don't chew with my mouth open. So
Yeah.
when you're
Don't blame
four.
her.
My mother used words rather than force. I'm sorry to hear that. That's yeah, that sucks. I just heard that it was rude, so I just stopped. But yeah, that sucks.
Same.
Kids, very young kids, at least me, or maybe it was an ADD thing. I don't know, but I could be told, nope, okay, I'm going to open the door. Don't rush in to the car. Don't rush in. I need to put your sister's stroller like in the middle first. Do you understand? Uh-huh. Yeah. And then they open the door and I immediately try to like pile in. It's not because I'm disobeying them. Fucking kids don't listen. They don't.
Sometimes they don't listen.
They just
Sometimes it
don't.
just takes them a little bit to register what they've been told. Like
Or
I feel like a lot of adults these days have
yeah.
a lot of adults these days have no patience. And so like they're kind of just you're like, why didn't you do? Well, sorry, I was zoning out, or I wasn't listening, or but you don't know why, you just didn't hear it, or you didn't understand it. I just said don't do that. Well, sorry.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
Yeah.
What did I just say?
where is she?
Exactly.
Rachel. So Megaframe, 13th episode of season 3 of ReBoot. As I mentioned, originally aired on my 13th birthday. Coincidence? I think so.
I don't think it was.
I had said
This is
this.
a good
Maybe I was muted. But the whole me logging, not being on social media and stuff. Happy belated, Christopher.
Thank you. My birthday was over 7 months ago now.
Happy belated.
But
happy early birthday.
Yes.
yeah, very.
Yeah.
It's actually closer to my 37th birthday than it was to my past tense 36th birthday.
It's a little too late for belateds,
37?
I have one friend.
Do you?
They mistook only one. They mistook June for like January one time. And in January they were like, "Oh, Ben, I missed your birthday. Oh, blah blah blah," on like the 7th, and I was all like, "Oh, you really missed it."
Oops.
And I was like, "Yeah, it's like June," and they're like, "Oh, literally on the half a year from now, or behind us, and I'm like, yeah, and they're like, oop. And so 6 months after their birthday, every couple years, I'll like PM them and I'll be like, happy birthday, dude. And every once in a while, every year or two in January, they'll be like, oh, I missed your birthday. Happy birthday, man.
I would do it on.
Actually
I would.
on our birthdays.
I would do it on their wall so that all the other friends or like on Facebook would see it and be like, "It's your birthday," and just have this whole like thread.
Mhm.
Yeah,
We do. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
have
But
birthday.
never on birthdays.
biannual,
I dig it.
biannual birthday.
semi.
It's like a leap year, baby. But twice as
Biannual
good.
is every 2 years.
Mhm.
Semi-annual is every
Right.
6 months.
Because
Semi-annual. That's
bi-weekly is
right.
every
That's
2
right.
weeks.
I thought biennial was every 2 years. Sorry.
Biennial is every 2 years, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Because bi means 2.
Yeah. That's
Yep.
what I meant. That's what I thought.
I revealed recently, I was like, like blah blah blah, like tentacle porn and something. I was
Beast
like,
Wars once and for all.
Beast Wars once and for all.
What are we talking about?
Beast Wars and tentacle porn. But anyways,
I thought
was
we were
like,
talking about Megaframe.
I was like, oh, what is it with some people? Like 8 tentacles is enough, damn it. And they were like, why specifically 8? And I was like, I don't know, like octopus,
going to
blah,
sleep.
blah, blah. And they were like, don't octopus have like more than that or less than that sometimes? I'm like, no, they have
That
8.
is a comfy ass couch to sleep on.
It is a
I will
very
say.
comfy ass couch.
Yeah, for audio listeners, Snidler's crashing on Christopher Siege's couch.
Yeah.
Not actually, he's just recording at his place.
Yeah.
But they were like, well, no, some have like 6 or like whatever. I'm like, no, octopus have 8. And they were like, well, how do you remember that? And I'm like, how many sides does an octagon have? And they were like, oh my god. And I'm like, yeah. And they were like, pretend I never said anything. So if they end up listening to this, I can't believe you're in your 30s and you couldn't remember how many legs an octopus has.
I was gonna say, like, like that was a thing that occurred to me when I was a child.
Yeah.
They were like, I pretend I never said that. Pretend I've always known this. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
All right, I will.
All right, I will, but then I will talk about it.
But then I'll still remember. Yeah.
So Transwarp Portal opens.
Mm-hmm.
At
new intro.
Really. Yeah, new intro.
I dig it.
I usually skip the intro, so you guys take it away. Talk about it.
Nice.
Well, it's just Dot. If you guys want to
Lady
say
Glitch,
what she says.
do you want to recite the intro?
Me?
Yeah, Dot's your girl.
Oh.
Do you know the intro?
I looked to the net. I searched through systems, peoples, and cities for the sprites, my family.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Love it.
My format
in Dot's voice
of what was once Mainframe. Reboot!
The utter disgust on Lady Glitch's face right now. Like, really? You don't remember?
I thought you'd want to say it.
I wasn't mentally prepared for it. I was put on the spot, but I still delivered. So
you did deliver.
Well done.
Great job.
Well done.
Plus, like half of that intro is in my Twitter profile. So.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get good. All of
us.
Scrub.
Not good.
Man, this been waiting for this for so long.
I know.
Holy shit. This opening and the opening with Dot. Oh, by the way, from this point on, I don't remember shit. Like, this is
pretty much same. I remember the finale to season 3,
any of this.
But
I haven't seen it.
Oh, the finale is amazing.
And this,
the like dumbass like musical number at the end of the episode.
I don't remember any of it. So
okay.
Don't reference it if you can. I mean, it's not like it's the end of the world, but like, man, I'm like actually hyped for this.
Yeah. You want to be pleasantly surprised when we get to the good parts.
We moved and like we had different cable or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So the last I remember them was like somewhere in the web, like right before they met Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Right.
because I couldn't pick it up at the same spot, I avoided just watching random episodes of it when it was back on TV.
Gotcha.
Mm.
So
See,
go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Go.
Wasn't going to say anything important. Can't
Who
remember.
can it
I
be
was-
now?
I was gonna
So
say, is you doing color commentary right now the first time you've watched it?
All of this from now on, yeah.
Okay, so you didn't watch this episode prior to doing this.
Oh no, sorry, I watched it like an hour ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right,
But that was
Christopher,
the
go ahead.
first time.
yes. Anyway, so portal opens in cyberspace. Saucy Mare emerges, flies toward Mainframe. We're back in Mainframe.
Woo!
We're here.
Can't believe it.
Finally back home.
The hype train is real.
The hype train is real. Trains are kind of a dirty word on this podcast at this point, so that's why I'm getting choked up. You see, I'm like, oh, trains. Oh God.
Well, this train just had a massive train wreck.
Yeah. So Mainframe is completely thrashed, like top to bottom.
Devastated.
Yeah. Straight up. Looks like a war zone. And the people of the Saucy Mare are like lamenting about it. Like Enzo's like, "Oh, I'm finally back," but like, "Oh wait,
My childhood home is incinerated."
Yeah, Andrea actually gets like choked up, and I kind of felt that when she was like, actually like gasped over it.
Right after that, Bob and Matrix like look at each other, and that's when I feel. I noticed that Christopher empathizes a lot more with female characters, but
I do, yeah.
Yeah, but what caught me is the Enzo and Bob moment where they like look at each other, and Enzo just kind of like sadly says "dot," and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And if you're living in the moment and you didn't look at the intro, because obviously Dot's going to be alive, but it's rough because like the whole season 1, it was the whole show. They were together.
Yeah, but when you come upon like this scene of destruction, you automatically think the worst.
It looks pretty bad.
It's
like
war torn.
Worse than the other systems they visited.
Crumbling, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, at this moment, I'm like, wait. So we've theorized on the show before that like they've maybe been gone for like a year or two. And I'm like, really? This amount of carnage in that short period of time?
Oh, this amount of carnage could have been months.
Yeah. Well, clearly.
Yeah.
But
how long does it outright say, or does it not say how many years or months or whatever has passed?
No, I think
it's been a few years.
Yeah, I think a year in Mainframe terms is a full cycle. So it could have been several cycles.
Well, and earlier in season 3, like Turbo mentioned to Matrix, he was like, well, basically, like based on my estimates, you would probably only be 1-1 right now.
Yeah.
Oh, specifically he says that.
Yeah.
Episode 8.
So a year and a bit has passed then.
Yeah, about that. So Mainframe has changed a lot in a relatively short period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how much time has passed for him too. Like the hair is really long, he's way different. I'm curious all the different time dilations and how they add up.
How they perceive it. Yeah.
Like
I'm sure to Matrix and Andrea, like it's been in real time, it's been like a year, but like they've perceived it as being like 10 years.
It feels like a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then with Bob being in the web time could be different than net time.
That's
That's
also
another
true.
hypothesis
Yeah.
you could research.
Well, and looking at Bob's hair length, I will say, like, based on the length of his hair in seasons 1 and 2, which is about the length of my hair right now, actually, versus like his hair length right now, that's about what I would grow in like a year, I would say.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So
Because his hair was already like kind of past his ears. So makes sense. So about a year has passed for him too, maybe.
yeah.
Hard to say. But he's so different, it feels like it's more than a year.
I feel like the way that he talks now is a lot more mature. It's not as bouncy. It's
And
more methodical.
He did merge with
Glitch.
but he was different even before that.
Ironic, because he is voiced by Cheetor now. And yet is less bouncy.
Oh yeah, that is ironic.
Yeah.
If you know a thing or two about Cheetor, let me tell you, he says Cheetor bullshit.
Cheetor says some Cheetor bullshit. It's on a t-shirt, which anyone listening to this can buy.
So what happens? They investigate?
Yep.
Yeah, so they do some Law and Order shit here. They see that Mainframe is completely thrashed. The firewall's down. They go to investigate, and
just Matrix and Bob, though, right?
Yeah, it's just Matrix and Bob. So Matrix and Bob, keen detective skills here, I will say.
I like this. I think they handled it elegantly.
Yeah, I like this too.
Yeah. This could have been cringe, but it made sense. Sorry,
so basically,
go ahead.
So basically, like, Matrix and Bob are doing some like detective bullshit, like examining clues around basically the crime scene,
figuring out what happened exactly.
Figuring out what happened, and as they speculate about what happened based on what they're observing, we get a flashback showing us exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So
the
firewall
was close or exactly what happened.
Yeah. So firewall is down, and the Silicon Tor is
also down.
Literally goes down.
Curiously, and I'm like, whoa, hold up.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened here? And they speculate that, oh, this must have been blown apart from the inside, so
yeah. So
Hex must have gotten free and fucked shit up.
Yeah.
And she was pretty pissed.
Yep.
Hex got mad and she broke free and tore shit up, which is
I love
exactly
Silicon tore shit up.
I love the joke I love the quote of, no longer will I wear your shackles, brother. Now it is my turn to rattle your bones.
I love that.
And then she goes totally ham and blows it apart.
I wish she had rattled his bones. What it doesn't reveal is how the hell Megabyte escaped her wrath.
Yeah, how did he
hiding,
survive? Was he already gone? Was he?
He was just hiding, I guess, underground or somewhere.
Yeah,
because the flashback is brutal. Like no one would have survived that.
Like she aims her energy balls at the middle of the Tor. We all know that Megabyte's throne room's at the top of the Tor.
Yeah.
By the way, holy cow, did they go crazy with this PlayStation 1 cutscene? There's so many pixels. It's so detailed when the slow motion top of it breaks down and chunks are flying off of it. The 3D, like the framing and the polygon count as it's breaking apart. I am actually amazed. There are different times when this show's animation has like leveled up. And Christopher, the PlayStation 1, like, is it slow motion or is it just 15 frames per second? Nobody knows.
I do find it really funny that like Bondage Hex like shoots a fireball at the middle of the Silicon Tor, and when it hits, the top of it straight up just explodes and like pops up.
Yeah.
It's exactly
it actually
what
like
happens when
pops
Blows
up.
its top.
she's magic, man. What do you want? And
Chaos,
of
man.
course, I like this is funny. While she was under Megabyte's control, she didn't help them break out of the firewall. But now that she's free, she effortlessly
Oh
breaks
yeah,
the firewall.
takes it
She
down.
overloads it.
So
Overloads it.
Get fucked, Megabyte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to think Scuzzy helped her out somehow.
Oh, probably. It's because he like came in through that little hatch in the wall. Remember when he kind of like unscrewed it from the inside and he just like whoop, hops in. And then she goes crazy. They find out more stuff exploding and more stuff tracing back to Hex.
Like Siege was saying, it's very like Law and Order, like dun dun, because it shows Matrix and Bob kind of being like, oh well, this is viral scorch marks.
Yeah.
So Megabyte
Right.
did fight back, and there must have been a skirmish. Blah blah blah. Oh, but I wonder who won.
Yeah, and then Matrix finds the null trails, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Has it ever showed them like eating away or deteriorating what they passed through before this?
No, not to
No.
my knowledge.
No.
I've only ever seen them like suck energy out of stuff and
Zap people for a
Yeah,
second.
yeah,
or so,
yeah.
And but
Yeah, and
in a swarm, they can drain people, presumably, right?
Yeah.
But it makes me feel like they're only like this because Hex was on a war path.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe?
Yeah, and
He
like
controls the nulls.
I know the shot that you're talking about specifically, and what it actually kind of reminded me of, and this episode actually predates this movie by a year, but like what it reminded me of was like the scarabs in the 1999
The Mummy?
movie The Mummy.
Yeah.
I almost
Yeah.
feel like Christopher knew I was going to talk about the Mummy
I was gonna bring it up too, yeah.
because I watched The Mummy and The Mummy Returns very recently, and I've actually been bringing up
The Mummy is
a
great.
lot.
Oh,
Yeah, and by the way, holy cow, are both those movies fucking good.
Yeah, Stephen Summers
great.
directed, Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz. Yeah.
They're so great together.
I was in love with
Never
Rachel
watched
Weisz when I was 14
the chemistry
because of that movie.
of Brendan Fraser and her is amazing. You absolutely believe that they have in the second one they have that kid together. It's phenomenal. There's like a third one, not the Scorpion King. There's a third one where they're like in China.
Yeah,
and they
Rachel Weisz was recast.
Yeah.
Pretend it doesn't exist. Don't watch it.
If you haven't
The
seen the
Mummy,
first two, it
Tomb
would be
of the
passable
Dragon
as an action
Emperor.
movie. The Dragon Emperor, that's right, yeah.
The
Tomb of the
movie
Dragon
that you
Emperor,
didn't realize existed that you don't need to watch.
Till it hit TV.
The scarabs, people. There are scarabs in ancient China. Buried
Oh,
in
there was also a
Chinese
remake starring Tom Cruise that came out in 2017.
Is that actually a remake?
Yeah.
There is also a ride at
its own
Universal
thing.
Orlando called Revenge of the Mummy.
I thought that was its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was intended to set up the Universal Dark Universe.
The
which
Dooku, the Dark Universe.
The Dark Universe, which
Universe.
they released on social media like a photo of like all these like big name actors like chilling out together, being like, meet the Dark Universe. And then the Mummy comes out and fucking flops at the box office. And well, there's no Dark Universe now.
The Dooku. That was an inside joke, at least for me. A lot of friends went to go see The Mummy. Like when it was in theaters, I'm like, you guys aren't going to look at like reviews or whatever, like a group of them. And it's our mutual friends, Christopher. And I was like, don't. Like, at least don't throw your like money away. Right? It's not like a Marvel movie that's part of this like big thing and you're like, I want to watch it even if it's not that good. Like, this might be atrocious. None of them, they just kind of like all put their head down and they were like, eh. They didn't even post about it on social media or anything like that. They were just all kind of like ashamed or bored or not impressed with it. Have you ever heard the podcast I listened to, Dude Soup, had an alternative take where it's just like 20 minutes in, right? They go to like rip off the tomb of this like mummy or whatever, and Brendan Fraser with his sawed-off like shotguns or whatever pops out of it, shotguns Tom Cruise, right? Dusts himself off, and he's like, "We've got a mummy to kill." And then the first mummy movie just plays from that point onwards. Completely as in, and it would have been a much better movie.
Interesting.
Go watch The Mummy.
Mhm.
Anyways,
Yeah,
folks, Scarabs, The Mummy. I love it.
yeah, the Tom Cruise Mummy remake, like they were I feel like whoever wrote that movie, instead of actually like looking to the 1999 Mummy film for inspiration, they just played Uncharted. And like that's what they like. Tom Cruise's character kind of feels like a Great Value brand Nathan Drake.
Great Value, Nathan Drake. President's Choice, Nathan Drake.
President's Choice Nathan Drake, who himself is already like a President's Choice Indiana Jones. He is a President's Choice Lara Croft, who is also a President's Choice, and Lara Croft is a President's Choice Indiana Jones.
And Indiana Jones is just a President's Choice Prince of Persia. There we go, folks.
No, he is a Indiana Jones is a President's Choice Alan Quartermain.
Oh, okay, yeah. I dig it. So those are bad news bears, folks.
They are. What's going on in this episode?
They're eating the floor, and there's a scarab scene where they devour one of the hover tanks. Completely, like it goes flat as they cascade over it.
Yeah, and Hex is playing dodgeball with all of the energy shots that are coming out of those NPCs.
She's having a ball. I love it.
Forgot about that. She completely annihilates hack and slash.
Yep.
Well, you know how hack and slash can always be put back together because they're they can fall apart. She blew them up.
This is business as usual for them, except that they're not in chunks. Like when a tank hits them or they're run over, she
annihilates
them. Yeah, there's an arm of slash.
You see like an arm and it twitches and it just kind of dies.
I like how she's playing.
That was very sad.
Shooting lasers, like you were saying, and she's just like, "Oh, haha, this is so much fun!" Like a Dragon Ball Z character, like dodging energy blasts.
Yes.
And I'm like, wow. And even the ones that could hit her,
nope.
She could probably just energy shield them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So one of Megabyte's cronies comes up to meet him in his like hover chair thing, and he's like, "Yeah, I saw this asshole like wandering about, and he looked kind of different, but I think it was Bob, man."
Oh, you missed a scene.
Did I?
Yes. Oh wait, no, I am so sorry. Nope, my brain's jumping ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, it's all good.
Oh, he's one of the spy squad.
Yeah. We all know the music. Anyone listening to this knows the music.
Yeah, he's the hat guy.
Yeah.
Jam is molding in the kitchen.
Yeah. He looked a little different, sir, but I'm sure it was Bob.
And the rolling rabbit gathers no moss.
That's right.
What are you talking about?
I forgot what the second part
was. But Megabyte does drop a piece of information. It means that Megaframe is back on the net. That means portals, transportation.
When you tell the audience, it's a lot different than when the characters deduce accurate information. I think they handle the Law and Order and Megabyte's deduction as, then we must be back online.
Yeah.
They're
get out of here.
Us, but the characters are learning at the same time, so that is actually good writing.
It's good exposition.
This is a very well-written episode, I think.
It could have just been an info dump, and it's, his hover chair has missiles?
No.
That's a new chair. Cool.
Yeah.
And
Really-
Megabyte is basically like, well, I've ruled over this shithole long enough. Time to go find somewhere better.
Time to fuck off. Let's go.
Yep.
And
Yep.
indeed-a-roo, he has fucked this place up quite a bit.
Yes.
Yeah, he's living in the principal office right now.
He's squatting.
Yeah, basically.
He's squatting basically. He's set up his little office and his like thing, and Air Doctor's there, and
Oh,
yeah,
he still
he's
has Air Doctor.
Yep.
And
Now we
he's
need a picture of him
oh,
eating.
Lord Megabyte. Yeah, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's still alive.
Shout out to Cone Killer Confusor
Woo!
for
Air
doing the
Doctor.
Air Doctor art. I have it printed out and on my wall behind my monitor.
I should print
Also-
it out too.
We love you, man.
also shout out to the to Coin Killer Confusor who made the shake, the energy shake on
Right.
vacation. That was awesome. Yeah.
Oh,
Our
did
little
he?
tangents.
Yeah.
I haven't actually.
I tagged you in it.
I haven't
think.
actually seen that.
No, I put it
it's
up on
actually
the
really
chat.
good.
No, I.
We were joking one time.
Holy
it was
shit!
like,
I missed
Okay, I'll
that.
send it again.
the joke was like, oh, what happened to him? And I'm like, you know what? He's living his
He's-
best life.
Yeah, he's on vacation.
In the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shows he's got like a little drink and he's like kicking back on a lawn chair, you know.
Yeah.
Poolside. Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah,
All
I,
cool
I,
one.
I missed our boy's art, so I'm gonna have to go check that out.
He captures the characters really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
And that goes to show, don't I need to listen to this advice as well. If you think you're not good at art, chances are you're much better at art than you even give yourself credit for. And just doing things can surprise yourself, right?
In that case, I'm horrible.
Same.
I think you'd surprise yourself, right?
Mm.
Like everybody
Oh,
has
yes.
different talents. Like Christopher's like storyboarding and his what's the word I'm looking for? Choreography,
Sequencing?
point of view or whatever, right?
Mhm.
Like if you don't know this, Christopher designs Snidler's alphanumeric shirt for video listeners. That was done by an artist, not us, but like the layout is
Pirate.
completely Christopher's design,
Mhm.
Yeah,
right? So like I said,
I
you might think you don't have a talent,
I come up with ideas for like how to frame
framing. Thank you.
like a shot
Composition.
Mega frame a shot.
That's what
composition right there.
I
I come
it,
up with
folks.
ideas for that. Like I have like a very like firm picture in my head, but I don't have the artistic skill to
Execute.
it.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I wish I did. Yeah.
Got darker in here, and I think a light bulb burnt out.
Cool.
We actually have new show art incoming on that note.
Cool.
We have new show art incoming. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
The light bulb didn't burn out; it just turned off, which is weird because it's a like
Maybe
a
the sun's
drop
going
thing.
down.
Okay.
weird.
Poltergeist for sure.
Ah,
Speaking of
And-
poltergeists, what's going on in this episode?
There's a ghost.
Yeah, Poltergeist. Megaframe.
Sorry, but they're on their pirate zip boards made out of wood somehow, and they get a glimpse of the principal office.
I find it kind of amusing that like Megabyte has been trying to take over the principal office
since episode
since episode 1 for this entire series. And
Yeah.
now it's like his home gets blown up and he's all like, "Whoa, time to move." Yes.
For another place to set up shop.
Hack / go find a new base.
And where he picks is the principal office. And now because he's like motivated because like him and his forces have like nowhere to live, like their place got blown up. He's like, "Well, we are taking the principal office today." I just find that amusing because like he spent like all this time like trying to break into the principal office and like take it over, but like.
But he can't
Now-
actually take it over. Sorry, go
But
on.
he can't. But he's never really succeeded in any
He's come
meaningful
close.
fashion. But
It was a
he
matter
has
of
come
time.
close.
He's
Yeah.
inside the building, the physical building.
But
he
now,
still
just
can't-
because his home is blown up, he's like, well,
Yeah.
let's go take it over again. And they actually succeed this time.
They were very close, right? Very, very close when we were last in Mainframe, but then the firewall came up. Like, it was just a matter of time, right? They tried different things. They had the shield. Hex blew it up. Like, it was bad news bears. And then the firewall, and it was like, okay, we bought ourselves some time. So it wasn't surprising to me because, like, he was very close from getting it, and then they pulled one over and they managed to firewall them.
Mhm.
I like how it's kind of like a prison camp. With
It reminds me a
spotlights,
lot
there's
of-
barbed wire.
It reminds me a lot of the checkpoints in Germany during World War II.
That's
And
what it.
I'm
when I
sure
went to-
that's what they're going for. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very much like Identity Crisis Part 2 in Dot's vision.
Yeah.
Pulling that
Oh,
pulling that artistic work from it. And when I ran the
worst?
Berlin Marathon and I was in Germany, there's a lot of these watchtowers that were still up and available to look at. And that's the vibes I'm
Crazy.
getting. Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
It's funny because Identity Crisis Dot's like visions of the future.
Mm-hmm.
Megaframe was still a functioning city. They were just all under his rule. This is
Yeah.
just a wasteland. Like
It's a
there's
shell.
nobody to rule over. Everyone's probably like hiding the resistance,
Yeah.
or they're in the resistance, right? Or dead.
I was good. Yeah. Go
What
on.
does he have to rule over here? This is worse than Dot's vision.
Well, I was gonna say, like, he, from Identity Crisis, where Megabyte was ruling over, that must have been like the early days where it was still rather functioning, but nothing was really being supported by Megabyte. Like, nothing was really being, like, he's a shit leader, basically.
I don't think that ever even came. I don't think he ever ruled over anyone. I think he's got his viral binomes and
that's it.
And that's it. And his forces
feel
have been
like-
dwindling.
But he does keep building this army. Like, we went over a few. When did we go over this? Like, converting binomes to viral. Otherwise, they'd
true.
be deleted. Which, again, dark. So yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to say. Like, what exactly was his end game here? Because if now everything's gone to shit, and he's just like, all right, well, it's been real, but I'm gonna find a portal and get out of here.
I feel like once Hex blew the firewall, she went and destroyed the entire city. So I think all of the destruction that we see is Hex's work.
That's
And then
wow.
she
Okay,
went back
Makes
to Los
sense.
Angeles to fuck off and hang out.
Yeah.
And then
Because Megabyte wouldn't do that. He'd want to rule it. Okay, yeah. She went nuts
That
and blew everything up.
makes so much more sense. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Because I was like, why
Right.
is everything wrecked? Why would he
Yeah.
do this?
Yeah, this
It
is
was
just
Hex.
chaos energy. We know that Megabyte is actually a little bit weaker than hexadecimal, and Megabyte
Yeah.
isn't exactly chaos energy like hexadecimal is. So Megabyte would want to rule over one city and that's in one piece, but Hex would just want to destroy everything and then go hang out in her lair.
The whole thing with hexadecimal is that she was not only getting revenge on Megabyte, but also just fucking up all of his other chances to do anything.
Yeah.
And just leave him there to kind of like rot, even though he's not going to rot.
That makes sense. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because there we go. That does make sense.
Megabyte's
Because
control.
both of you said because she could have just
Texas.
found him and deleted him.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But after she blew up the city, she was like, "Enjoy." And
I'll
she
just leave him with
tricked
this shack in the middle of the town.
Yeah.
Where he still can't get control without Fong. He still doesn't have any power to get to the core without the proper codes. So all he's done is successfully move into the principal office and set up camp there.
So we
So he
exit-
still hasn't done anything that he's wanted to do, which is why he's still very incontent. Is that the word? Incontent? Discontent? Incontent.
In contempt.
Uncontent.
Discontent.
you.
He's in discontent. Yes.
which is
That's
different
right.
than discontempt.
Yes. He's held himself in contempt.
Right.
Word
Um,
contempt
okay,
has
let's
lost
carry
all
on.
meaning to me now.
So Matrix and Bob are like sneaking around the principal office, and the like viral Nazis with their like Nazi towers notice them, shine a spotlight, and they're like, "Oh shit, we have invaders!"
Oh no,
So,
we're
like,
under attack.
Matrix.
Uh,
Bob is like
Matrix goes fucking
sneaky.
bananas.
Oh yeah,
Matrix is like, and he just
yeah,
yells.
he actually is
And he
like, "Ah!"
He shoots
Yeah.
a light.
Shoots the spotlight out.
Yeah, it's
I
kind of
actually
like
laughed.
Matrix is going through this thing right now where he gets an immense like surge of rage against all the shit that he went through the last time he was in Mainframe against his city. So it's like,
See-
I'm just going to go over here and shoot out your light.
I don't know if that moment was intended to be like any kind of profound or moving, but I just fucking laughed.
I thought it was funny.
I
It was
laughed with the
comical.
feeling of being like, I don't know if I should be laughing here because
The
Yeah.
reaction is just funny, but like his lack of control because he's seeing that the principal office has been taken over by Mainframe.
And then when you listen to
Really
the
trying to fight them.
and when you listen to the
like
background music, you get the sad Enzo music again. But this time it's in a tense situation, which is a little unorthodox from what we are used to hearing it at.
I can relate to this scene actually, where you come back to your home and you find out that you've essentially lost.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get pissed off, and if you can just fly off the handle and do whatever, and unload around into a spotlight, if that's the least you can do, get some
you can
attention.
relate to that.
Huh?
You can relate to that.
Yes, I've shot out spotlights before. No.
Did you go home and it was much different and you took pot shots at a stop sign?
It was a relatable moment. I have never done anything like this.
Okay.
Liar.
Look, it was 3 a.m. Okay.
Okay.
I had an entire bottle of Captain Morgan's.
Christopher was there. He's good.
I had a pellet gun. All right. we were reminiscing and complaining about how different things are now, and it just seemed like a good idea at the time. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm from a small town
Point
where
is-
there are 22 shots at stop signs everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah. My point is, yes, I get it. He's going nuts. He kind of goes berserk for about a second, and Bob even thinks this is a little over the top, and
Mm-hmm.
He ends up in a pickle.
He ends up in some trouble.
Scramble the troops.
The Stargate troops with their Jaffa lasers become overwhelming, and he can't just shoot them all. I wonder why he wasn't like gun, auto target, and he just shot them from behind the.
Because he wasn't thinking rationally.
He's not thinking straight. Yeah.
Well, up here. And here.
Bob pulls a cool move where he kind of blocks some shots from one of the Megabytes tanks,
right,
with like an energy shield. Yeah, with ease. Blows up the tank because he's merged with Glitch now. I guess he can do that, and forms a portal from a tear nearby, and yeets like
he just
into
I love Bob's face when he like picks up Matrix with his hand. His face is so relaxed. It's like, look what I can do now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's magical. He's Bob the White.
So basically big battle goes down. Doesn't really go their way, so Bob uses his like newfound like energy powers to shield Enzo. Then he makes a portal for them to escape.
Yep.
Which they do.
Which is fantastic, because without really explaining, you kind of get it already. That now Bob and Glitch have merged into one, and they're
Still
don't
like Glitch Bob, but
I know, but still, it's cool what happens. Where like they've merged into one, and now he has these like incredible superhuman abilities because he can do everything Glitch can do.
Right.
Intuitively, without having to go, Glitch, do this.
Yeah.
Glitch, do this.
But he could also shield and attack at the same time. And also create portals and do all these things. So I'm like, well, he's basically God now.
He got an upgrade.
He got an upgrade.
How fortunate for them to land in this alleyway
Yeah.
when the portal
Yeah.
ejects them.
Mm.
They could have
The
landed in
alleyway.
an alleyway.
Glitch anywhere. Yeah.
I like that Enzo's past the point where he would no longer be like, "Why'd you take me out of that? I had things under control."
Yeah.
Like, which what
Right.
old Matrix would have said, right? But then again, my partner pointed this out to me. Would he ever talk to Bob like that though? Because Bob's different, and I'm like, that's a good point. If it was anyone but Bob, he probably, maybe old Enzo at least, or beginning of season Enzo might have been like, I had everything under control. Why'd you save me? I didn't need your help.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's mellowing out.
Also, he's getting quite a reminder that he's dealing with Bob and that Bob is different now.
Indeed.
There's
Because, like, yeah, sorry, go on.
there's a little bit of a comical scene. At least I found it comical anyway, where Megabyte interrupts Air Doctor in the midst of eating a sandwich.
I love that.
Like literally just eating a sandwich.
That's about to come.
Nomming it down.
Yeah.
There's a weird sandwich scene we'll get to. There's a weird limo scene. It makes me feel like they have a weird relationship because they leave the principal office after this attack
Yeah.
in Megabyte's like hover limo. And Air Doctor's like presumably watching TV because he has a remote, and he's just lounging next to him.
It's like, what is he watching?
It sounds like the Today Show. Like, honestly, like he's flipping around.
And Megabyte's men blow up the remainder of the principal office because there's nothing left here for them. Right?
I love it when Megabyte says fire when ready, and they're still just hanging around, and he looks at Air Doctor like, come on, let's go. So what are they waiting for?
Yeah, they blow it up. What's it called? Salted Earth warfare. If he plans on leaving here Scorched Earth, thank you. If he plans on leaving, fuck everyone else that's left here. And our buddies.
The buddies.
Go up. Hack and or Slash.
And they're all
Stop right there, criminal scum. They're alive.
Reach for the skies.
They're all stitched together.
With little plates and welded.
And they've got icons.
That is right, folks.
Yeah. They've got icons.
And
I didn't even notice that. Yeah, they totally do.
Yeah.
And then we sorry to be nitpicky or slow things down, but then we get to the Air Doctor scene. What the fuck is this scene? Air Doctor is in a giant underground structure by himself using a riveting gun.
Yeah.
To like tighten bolts on something while he's eating a sandwich. And I'm like, shouldn't you be up to scientist things, not like
right
manual labor?
He's anchoring the equipment to the floor.
I'm so okay, so he's doing this.
Yeah.
He would design it. Why would he? Grunts should be doing this. Why is he physically he's not doing all of this by himself, but indeed it's just him here and he's eating a sandwich.
He's a bind of all trades.
I guess so. And Megabyte's behind him. And he's like, how about the arrangements for my travel arrangements?
And then he's looking at his sandwich.
He's like, it's really good.
Yeah.
I don't get this scene.
I love it. I don't want to get this scene. I love it. It's like, this is classic.
Yeah. What kind of sandwich was he eating?
It looked like BLT.
That's what I'd like to know.
Yeah, it looked like a BLT.
They have a weird exchange that's happened multiple times where like Megabyte will stare at Air Doctor. Air Doctor will get scared, just like in the hover limo.
Right.
And then go ha 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 and then start laughing. And I'm like,
it's like there's a punchline that doesn't immediately land. And so he's like, huh? Oh,
because Megabyte's like, I guess we should talk to the head.
Yeah, I never
leave without access codes.
I never understood this scene, even as a kid, and even now. Like, what was Air Doctor looking at that made him so scared?
He's just weird. This is how he interacts with Megabyte. He like gets scared, calms down, and then like starts laughing.
I think
I
it's
don't
part of
know.
like dictatorship culture because you get dictators like North Korea, Germany, etc. The first person that stops clapping or laughing or bowing to their leader, they're the ones that get killed.
It's the whole trope, like, well, laugh, and then your goons like laugh, and if they don't laugh, you smack them around. I don't know. He's afraid of him, but he's serving him.
At this point, we're seeing Megabyte like we've never seen him before. Like this is it's dark. Like Megabyte just
It's exactly the same to me. He always loomed over his lackeys.
Yeah, no, but now we're seeing him do things, right?
Like,
the actions are different.
In a few minutes, we're going to see this, but
his interactions with his lackeys have always been like this.
The facial expressions.
I know. But again, we haven't seen this in a long time. We've been in the web. We've been surfing through games. Well,
right. The facial expressions that Megabyte gives Air Doctor after he says, "Well, let us go talk to the head." He's like, It's like right.
The head.
Yeah.
The head.
Where there's a weird, like skinny, like horned purple alien living in it.
Yeah.
Nobody.
The head.
Christopher and
creepy shit.
Yeah. There's another fucking cartoons at night.
All right. Where the fuck are we even?
We're like 11:30.
Indoor slash like Iron Man posing, pointing their hands at
Right, yeah.
At, Bob and Matrix. And Matrix is about to shoot him, and he's like, "Relax." And so
they were never that bad.
They were never that bad.
Yeah, they were never that.
And indeed, as we've discussed, they've helped Bob accidentally so many times. Their presence alone has we've talked about this where I'm like, are they undercover? Like Christopher, it was way
what the fuck
in like season 1. Where I think it was an episode where you and I just talked. No, Snidler was there for the Stargate.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, at this point, they must secretly be working for Fong because they do such stupid shit. Like when Megabyte's like, stop them. They pick the Stargate up
and then break it apart.
They break it apart.
Fly into it and then break it. Like, what were they thinking? How was that stopping Bob? They brought it closer to him. Whatever.
Yeah.
So, but the change in heart way back when they let Cyrus free. Go on, little one. Be free.
Be free.
Boss isn't gonna like that. Well,
are you gonna tell Megabyte what I did?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
we
saw this
scene,
coming.
Like, they have a very much like a Waspinator, like fuck Megatron moment.
Yeah. We saw this coming. So it's nice that they have the icons and they tell Bob and Matrix that, oh, Dot, yeah, we've been protecting her.
Just like a baby in our arms.
Just like a baby in our arms. It's nice.
Yeah, so
they to them.
Yeah, so they take Enzo and Bob back to meet Dot in their like little resistance type hideout.
I've been waiting so long for this.
Oh yeah, here we go.
And
who's Big Green?
He's gonna have a conviction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Enzo walks in.
I love that. Yeah.
And is like, hey sis, it's me. And she doesn't even question it at all.
Well, her
to
facial
his eye.
expressions before that, it's like, who?
It takes her a second.
I love this.
Her reaction
is
choked
beautiful.
me the fuck up.
Yeah, Kathleen Barr nailed that one.
Yeah.
Again.
The animators.
And the animators,
Yeah.
This,
like much like her reaction when she thought that Enzo had been nullified. Like the whole like screaming out no thing is such a like comical joke at this point, but like her doing it like actually got me. And like her reaction
I
here,
didn't think
like,
it was comical. That killed me when she screamed that.
No, I
But
didn't. No, I'm saying the trope of someone
Oh.
screaming out no
the
is
trope in of itself.
It's got to be done
is
properly.
comical.
Yeah.
Mhm.
As a kid, I was like, oh, whatever. But as we've discussed when we watched that, we were like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This is fucking brutal. There was one joke that Hack and Slash made where they were like, what happened to his eye? I don't know, but I wouldn't want to see the other
guy. That was so good.
But as to what Christopher was saying, one thing I'm just noticing now, when Hack and Slash part ways and Enzo walks forward and he's like, hey, sis, he's smiling. We don't normally see him smile like that. He's
Yeah.
smiling like Enzo,
Normally,
not tricks.
you'd have to run really
watching
fast.
it now.
Yeah.
When he does, run
Really
fast.
fast. Dot, no!
Aw, that
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
This choked me up a bit.
Mhm. Like family reunion shit.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dot's
so good.
outfit is slightly different. Like
Yep, this is
It's
my favorite
it's all
Dot
3
outfit.
water
Yeah.
camouflage.
yeah, like the cut is the same as like the outfit she wore earlier in this season, but like
Yeah,
it
it's
has
more
this like water
camouflagey.
camo. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love it.
Cool. I dig it.
If I
urban
can find
camo.
like a semi replica of this setup, I would totally run Chicago in it.
I want Matrix's vest with the thing that holds his icon and the
Yes.
Yeah.
and it's not over there. Like, oh man, this episode's everything I wanted because he's all like, what does he say exactly here? She talks to her brother and says, I thought you were nullified.
Right.
I thought I'd lost everything.
Yeah.
And Matrix says, I had a promise to keep. I brought Bob home.
Mm-hmm.
So on
Is he-
top
Yeah.
of the meeting, she's like,
Wait a sec.
I'm
What?
serious? I'm like, holy shit.
Oh my god.
Then it's immediately broken up with
Yeah.
a super comedic moment.
Complete with the record scratch.
The first time she's seen Bob in a long ass time, she thought he was dead.
Yep, and now he's being ravaged by
Mouse is here too.
Watch you right
Mouse
now.
is like leading him over and like
Hit them. Yeah.
like Looney Tunes like sloppily like kissing him.
Pepe Le Pew style.
Yeah.
Jesus. Dot's face.
Mouse's outfit is different too.
little
She's
bit.
got like some
pants are
urban
different.
camo desert
Yeah.
tights going on. Yeah.
She's got all Operation Desert Storm.
And this is awkward because this is so awkward. And it's organically awkward too because she's like, oh, it's Bob.
He's being kissed by
The first time
Mouse.
she sees him, he's being kissed by Mouse. And
Yeah,
like Bob's more happy to see Dot, but he was just
yeah,
he just had one laying on him.
his reaction mentally to try to recover from that is hilarious. He's like, Dot.
She's like, good to have you home, and they go to shake hands, but they don't.
Bob wants to hug, and
yeah, it was like that weird moment in Step Brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, I took a note on the interaction right here, not for nonverbal communication, like it's the hugs versus handshakes thing. They both have the look of, I wasn't expecting you to be alive, but now because you are, how do I even respond appropriately? Because a huge theme in season 3 is we've all grown up, we've all changed. Mm-hmm. And everybody has been responding to the war essentially in a different way. Like everyone's character development's different.
Yeah.
So watching this interaction now, if this was like season 2 Bob and Dot, they probably would have been all over each other. But
I think they would have been. Mouse's interjection made that awkward. I think it's 90% Mouse's fault, less that they've changed and turned into different people. Because I could see when it cuts between their eyes that they probably definitely, I am sure, would have kissed. But following up a kiss from Mouse made it weird. Mm-hmm. Even just momentarily.
Also, it builds that anticipation because you're kind of like, seriously, is this never going to happen? What's going on? Yeah.
It'll happen. God damn it.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen.
Has to happen.
Yeah. So where's Frisket and Andrea? They're alive and they're with the pirates and the saucy mare. The pirates. That's great. You brought the cavalry, sugar.
Sugar. And then
Then the
Bob's like,
awkward
"Where's
moment.
Fong?"
Where's Fong?
Yep.
Flashback.
The flashback scene. I'll let you guys cover this, but I'll step in when I've got a big ass fucking problem with something that's coming.
Oh,
Go.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in the flashback. They're being attacked.
of course they're being attacked. The principal office is rocking and rolling right now.
hmm They can't hold Megabyte off for very long.
Nope.
Here.
Thanks, Becky.
The viral troops have entered the
The
principal
office.
office.
And Mouse is like, "This is not good," quoting Bob again. And then Fong
Megabyte
says,
has won the battle, my child.
"But you must survive to ensure he does not win the war." And then everyone's really quiet, and Dot's like, "Evacuation code 9713, Lego."
And
And
a
then
magic door appears.
Magic door appears, and Dot
Yep,
looks so
secret door.
Dot looks so tired and defeated, and she sees Fong just kind of standing at the entrance to the war room, and she's like, "Fong?" And he looks back and he's like, "Go, my child, I will buy you the time that you need," being like a self-sacrifice in a sense. And then our buddies Hack and Slash swing by.
Yep.
And
Okay. So, sorry, you were saying that their buddies Hack and Slash. It's revealed that Fong was the one that fixed them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're super loyal to Fong in this scene. They're like, we won't leave you. We'll stay too. And he's like, "No, you have to go and help Dot. This is what I made you. It's for the better cause.
reason.
And this is it."
Yeah.
So there's a trope, and Christopher and I just talked about this last night
Okay.
when we were recapping, say, Tiger Hawk. Like, "I'll buy you time. Go on without me." There is never a time in cinema history where that actually helps. There's two tropes that I hate, and this is what happens. "Go on without me. I'll buy you time." There's literally no reason for you to stay. "No, go on without me." The person is either immediately died or they get caught, which helps the bad guy. I hate that trope so much. Or, in the case of Cyrus, "Go on without me," and he pretends to be caught, and they're actually a traitor. GoldenEye did this, right, with 00, whatever his name was. Sean Bean's character was actually like a double agent.
006.
Yeah. And the trope of, "Oh, go on without me. I'll buy you some time." But they literally don't, and then they become a liability and if they get caught, which is exactly what happens here. I hate that trope. It is so dumb. Name one time when somebody has bought someone else time by saying that. They usually immediately die or they're captured and become a liability. I hate that trope. It makes no sense why he couldn't have just left with them. It's a secret door. It closes up behind them. No sense whatsoever. And indeed, he does become a liability.
Yep.
That's just my rant. I hate that trope. Love the episode. Stupid trope. Never want to see it.
Yeah, and Dot's trying to convince Fong to come along, and he, at 17:18 on a timestamp, he shoos her away with his hand. It's like, "Go."
And then go ahead, Christopher.
I wasn't able to watch the rest of this episode yesterday because I was interrupted by something, so rest of the recaps, you guys.
Okay.
All right.
So my partner was watching and hearing me rant about how much I hate that trope, and they were like, "Oh, well, maybe he gave up hope." But later in the episode, he's like, "I will never give up. I'll fight you to the end, Megabyte." When he's just, shocker, he's just ahead. But you did. You didn't leave with Dot. Fuck. I don't like that trope. It's just like, "I'll buy you some time." You mean get captured and tortured. So you're helping Megabyte by getting captured.
And the fact that you still have all the codes in your long-term memory, and you know
It
that's
was either
what he needs.
Stupid. I hate that trope.
It was either them stick around and all get killed except for Fawn, or it was just be all them escape except for Fawn.
Why? How about just all of them escape? Give me one reason why Fong couldn't have gone with them. That's why I don't like the trope.
Alright.
What did Fong do? Did he fight them off with like a pulse rifle? And by the
Say hello to my little friend.
he time? Like, no, he didn't. Megabyte immediately like walked in and he was like, he smiled because the one person he needed alive was Fong,
And he's
there's-
right there.
and he's right there. Give me one good reason why he couldn't have just left with Dot and Hack and Slash. Because there's none. It's a dumb trope.
I don't have one. But yes, we talked about that trope last night, and I'm completely with you on this. I think there are times in media where it has actually been justified, where like characters have been able to like buy time for other people to survive. But
Usually by fighting or
like being able to like relay information that will save lives.
activate some sort of self-destruct. There's a scene in Aliens where they're crawling through the vents trying to get away. One of them's like injured, and they decide to stay and keep fighting them, and they blow themselves up with a grenade.
Yeah,
They were going to get killed anyway, so they stayed back and used one of their remote bombs or whatever. But the problem I have with the trope is when it's like, no, I'll buy you some time.
Like
and
Tigerhawk. Yeah.
And they never do.
Yeah.
Or worse, when they're actually a liability or an asset to the enemy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no, I'm with you.
Let's move along.
So we cut back to the bunker, and they finish telling the story, and Bob looks all sad and defeated.
Yeah.
And then you see Dot looking at Bob, and she's trying to reach out to like touch his shoulder comfortingly, but she retracts it before she gets there. It's like, how do I react? How do I comfort him?
So all of you, I don't know if you have it open or what, but around 1750, when she goes to touch him, but he doesn't because maybe he just needs to dwell on that alone. The composition of this shot with Matrix looking at, he's much taller than Mouse, and Mouse is taller than Dot, looking at Dot, and they're both just kind of absorbing the information. And Bob's in the front, like with his leg crossed and his like arms, and he's just kind of like looking away in despair. That's great. That's a great shot. That might be a really good like thumbnail for the episode or whatever, but like I really like the composition of that shot. It's only like 5 seconds, but it shows all the characters, it shows their different wardrobes, it shows different emotions on all of their faces. Enzo's angry. Mouse is always cool. She can be upset about shit, right? But she's about business. Can't get business done when you're pissed off, right?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Dot and Mouse already knew the information, so it's new to Bob. And nobody talks, but it's a really good shot.
Yeah.
And then it ends with Bob being like, I think I have a pretty good idea, in reference to what happened to him, to Fong.
Yeah. And then we go back to the principal office, and Herr Doctor is pushing buttons.
Is he the only goon left?
Apparently.
Like, what happened to this army? This giant...
The rest of them retired.
This giant tapestries hanging on the wall with the viral symbol.
No.
A lot of fancy like World War II German kind of like
insignia-ish kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And indeed, Air Doctor reveals that they have Fong's head, just his head, in a jar.
Spare me your platitudes, virus.
I learned what that
pretty horrifying
means.
Yeah.
I was watching this with my partner, and she's like, Jesus fucking Christ. And then when it's revealed that, hey, we're going to torture the information out of you, she's like, wow, this is surprisingly like dark.
This is what I was.
Head, and they electrocute him. Like this is.
Well, this is what I was saying earlier when I was going like, this is like, we see Megabyte in a whole different light. Like, we've never seen him actually do things. We hear a lot of talk. We see how evil he is and how he speaks to people.
Well, he
and
tortured
the
his
words that he
sister.
uses. Yeah. And then we see him with Fong's head in a jar. And Fong is just, he's not going down at all. He's not telling him anything. So Megabyte doesn't really care unless Fong is suffering. He doesn't care if Fong is suffering. He is just the perfect. I love this villain. He's just the perfect kind of evil. Just doesn't give a fuck.
Mhm.
He's.
He doesn't care which method he needs to use or utilize to get the information that he wants. He's going to get the information regardless.
But Fong will never give it up willingly, which is why he will never win. And even if he does win,
Never give it up. I will never give in to you, virus.
Yeah.
Never
You
give up.
did when you
Never surrender.
You did when you stayed in the principal office.
Yeah.
You gave up. Now, if he had this is what should have happened. He should have been like, as Megabyte was like punching down the last door before he got to Fong, it should have gone really dark, and he should have like taken like a blaster or a gun or something like that and been like like held it underneath his chin before it cuts to black. Because I mean, he can't get the information if he offs himself.
Right.
That would have been.
Air Doctor would have been able to find a way to extract it from his brain.
Not if it's in 1,000 pieces.
Air Doctor would have cleaned it up and sewn it all together, for all I know. He's a German scientist, know everything.
An engineer, an architect. And
they're into textiles, engineering.
I can't quite figure.
Computers and fancy cars, okay? That's Air Doctor's thing.
Where's the rest of Fong's body in all?
We don't know yet.
In pieces. I don't know.
That's what I'd like to know.
I don't know. Yeah.
You'll find out.
We don't know.
Okay.
Okay. I'll leave that then, because
I won't tell you when, but you'll find out soon.
Oh yeah.
Well, that also means that his body is somewhere, so.
Yeah.
It's that whole thing.
Spoiler.
I don't really care about that too much, but it's this whole thing where people aren't conscious of whatever, and I'm like, oh man, I like that character. It's too bad they're dead, and then somebody goes, oh, just wait, just if you like that character, just wait, maybe you'll see them again, and I'm like,
I like doing that even when the character's dead. Just wait, we don't know for a fact yet.
Just completely blue balling someone.
I've done that once before, and I never spoke to them again.
That's pretty amazing.
It was great.
That's pretty funny, actually. Just wait. We'll see where his body is.
Don't know for sure yet.
It was blown to smithereens.
Wait, where the fuck is Mike the TV? We haven't seen him in ages.
He's probably fucking around somewhere.
Probably annoying perfect strangers
with his favorite mistress, Hexadecimal. Do you want to kick me around today? Better than what Megabyte would do. I mean, really. Fuck. So I like this. He's like, Megabyte says something about, he's like, I thought I'd ask nicely, but my scientists do so enjoy their work. You got one.
He's probably got a million voices.
He means Igor and
yeah.
Igor
Bunnyfoot,
and,
Bunnyfoot, and
Bunnyfoot.
Bunnyfoot, yeah.
Like Brickfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brickfoot long arm.
throws the switch, and he's electrocuted. Electroshock. Yeah.
His
Worse
brain's
than
getting
that.
killed.
Throw the switch.
For some reason, Crave just decided to refresh and then go back to the main page out of the episode. So,
interesting.
I tried to go back, and it just took me to the beginning of the episode again. So, take it away, guys. Let's wrap this shit up.
Am I wrong, or you know how there's that scrambler where they're finding the info? We've seen this before at some
point. In Identity
Crisis.
Where were they getting the info from? A chip or a?
They were trying to hack the Dot's planner.
PID codes.
PIDs.
to get
Right.
the PID codes.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
where I've seen this. I'm like, have we seen the scrambler sequence before?
Mhm.
Right.
But this sequence is more complicated. This one has, I think, 16 bars of data, whereas for the password, whereas the one on dots is only 8.
This is 16-bit, not 8-bit.
Hey. Love it.
Now they're
Yeah.
playing with power. Super Nintendo power.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
Genesis
what's going on
does what Nintendo don't.
here? Oh my god!
Wow.
Yeah. Can't believe you remember
Genesis
those.
does what Nintendo don't.
I watched a reel of those commercials.
Yeah.
Actually, there is a video game like history, Netflix mini doc kind of series. Maybe it was Christopher that recommended it.
I
That
think it
talks
was, yeah.
about each episode is about a different era, but like different media, and it talks about like Sega's huge comeback because of their North American marketing like
Yep.
team. And he's like, you got to
This
attack
was me who
Nintendo.
told you about
It was
this.
you.
Yeah.
I watched that whole thing, and they talk about trans people and the history of like gaming and stuff like that. Like the different, it was quite interesting. And that whole like that one woman who was it a woman or I can't remember, but like was like, you guys got to go super like aggressive and just slam Nintendo, make tournaments, go on TV, act like you're the hottest shit ever. And I loved that. And the reel of all the commercials, like Sega does what Nintendo don't. I was like, holy shit, they came and it worked.
Yeah, it was a really good
forced their
docu-series. I
way.
can't remember the name of it now, though. But yeah, the person
Yeah, I
you're
can't
talking
either.
about is a trans woman. I think she's like in her 50s at this point, but back when she was like 10 years old or something like that, she won like the first ever like Atari like Pong competition or something.
Space Invaders.
Right.
She rocked everyone.
Yeah.
By a huge amount.
Yeah. Really good docu-series. Like I said, can't remember the name of it, but it was
You
great.
guys can continue.
Great.
What high score?
High score, right?
It was great.
That's it. Yeah.
If you want a history,
I think it's like 6
and it's well
episodes.
paced. When it talks about D&D and stuff like that, as somebody who knows it well and plays it and stuff like that, it's jarringly simplified and almost mocked by the documentary people. You could tell nobody that made the show had actually played it, and
Right.
they rip on it pretty insultingly. But outside of that, it was good. They talk about
It would
how
be like
Doom,
if I did a documentary about D&D.
maybe, but they talk about how Doom like completely changed the gaming sphere and like how multiplayer worked and how they released like the first chunk of the game for free to online for everybody
shareware.
to download.
It was like the genesis of shareware. Yeah.
And it was just a bunch of dudes that liked metal, like hanging out programming it in a basement. It was a joy. You guys should check it out.
A bunch of dudes who are just like, yeah, we know some computer shit and we really fucking like metal, so let's just like chill out in a basement for like 6 months and make a fucking metal video game. And they made Doom, literally the most metal video to date. I would still argue Doom is still the most metal video game in all of history.
I agreed. Yeah. All right, that was our Doom segue, ladies and gentlemen.
Our
Doom
gay?
Our Doom gay?
Our Doom gay? These questions and more will not be answered on this episode of Alphanumeric.
We've been hanging out too much when we simultaneously go, are Doom gay?
We're starting to hive mind at this point.
Yeah, so sorry, Snidler or Lady Glitch, take away the emotional end scene between Mouse and
all right, we can do that.
Sorry, Dot.
Go.
All right.
You got the nerd words.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Oh no, you
Okay, fine.
That's
Besides, it's got
okay.
this scene's got my girls in it, so here we go.
Okay.
All right, so we cut away from the principal office and Megabyte cooking Fong's brain for these codes. And now we are in Dot's office in the secret bunker. And while the electricity is flickering, she's giving us major game over vibes, because this kind of reflects on the scene where she also sat alone in her office in the principal office back on episode 4 of the season. She's sitting there, she's reflecting, she's stressed out. Now she starts to cry because I guess feelings of overwhelm and all this shit that's been happening. Then all of a sudden, Mouse walks through the door and she's like, all right, Sugar, what do you think you're doing? And Dot's like trying to look busy again.
Yeah.
I'm just looking
I'm
at
just
the
doing the thing, you know.
She's been hanging out enough around Dot where
like they're sisters
like,
right,
It's
yeah.
great.
Oh yeah.
And
she had
she's
the fearless leader routine.
yeah, I want to know what the fuck is up between you and Bob? If you're still mad about that little kiss that I gave him, and then if you look at Doc's facial expressions, she's like, no, it's not that. But she looks away after looking around. Like subconsciously, it still hurts her, but of course there are bigger things in the greater picture that's actually going on. And
I disagree.
Okay.
I actually think she's earnest. She stops, she thinks about it for a second, and then she realizes that it's not important. And she kind of drops it. That's my takeaway from it. Because she looks, she thinks, and she goes, No, it's not that. And I believe her. I don't think that actually like bugged. Maybe in the moment.
I'm kind of
she
in the
was
middle
surprised.
on that one.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Like first impressions when you see, Mouse going after Bob like that, it's like
especially after when that's the first time you've seen him and he's so different.
Uh-huh.
a little jarring.
And Dot's kind of like, I don't really like the dreads. Yeah.
Yeah, and
or
then
maybe she does.
Oh.
Maybe.
No, I was kind of in the middle. Sorry. My apologies.
No, you're fine. I appreciate the commentary, Sniddler.
No,
when she was a younger woman, the sight of Mouse making out with Bob would have bothered her. But now, as she's gotten a little bit older and a little bit more mature, she is emotionally ready to potentially be part of a polycule with the two of them.
I was on board with you about her being emotionally more mature and not giving a shit about the kiss, but then you threw a curveball.
I did that intentionally.
there is the possibility that it did bug her. I do think so on that count. On the other way, there's like on the other hand rather, there is also that. There is the fact that they've been gone forever. They haven't seen forever. They've all been through so much that though it might have been kind of that, the little kiss, it might have been kind of that, but also there's a lot of other stuff going on. And she doesn't have time to like occupy her mind totally with that. Like she would probably piss her off in the moment, but then it was like, he's back. We can do what we have to do later.
Well, Lady Glitch, to what Snidler was saying, indeed, she goes on to explain what actually bugs her.
Exactly. And I love this line from her. She's like, I can't face him. Not after what I did. I gave up hope. I didn't think he would ever come back. I stopped believing in him.
Yeah.
It's like, that's deep.
Yeah.
And she starts crying.
I think she's being hard on herself.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
She goes into full meltdown mode. And then Mouse comes over, a big sister moment. She's like, Dot, honey, we've all lost hope and we've all changed, except for one thing. Your love for that sprite out there and his love for you. Go to
She knows.
He knows full well.
They're
Mouse
really
is a wild card.
To throw Christopher a bone. To his credit, she kneels down and gets really close. And there are some frames where I'm like, now kiss. Because they're gazing into each other's eyes and she puts her arm like around her back and I'm like, make it even. You kissed Bob, now kiss Dot. It's even.
There you go.
Yeah, your score is even. But like it's more like a sister thing, like Lady Glitch said. Go to him.
Like, they're BFFs now, and she's
And she
wiping her
wipes her
tears away.
tears.
And she's like, "Thank you,
I like
Mouse."
the one glove. The
Same.
one latex glove. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that whole arm getup. It's awesome.
And that doesn't push things away. Like, this is why the show's different.
That's her
It doesn't
fisting arm.
hmm
for fisting bad guys in the face, right? Is that what that means?
Yes. That's
I like
exactly
that
what I was
instead
getting
of
at.
beating around the bush, instead of pretending and stretching that out, we have an audience insert in the form of Mouse be like, "Hey, enough of this. Go tell him."
Yep.
And I'm like, "Oh,
Right.
thank you."
Yeah.
So,
High time.
such a good episode. I thank you.
High time. Not
Frog
high
por-
code.
brain torture aside, yeah.
Yeah.
And indeed, the next scene is more brain torture.
Yes, it is, and they get the first half of that code decoded.
Yep.
And something weird happens.
Aw,
The
shit.
ball, the mysterious ball on top of the principal
pinnacle.
office,
It turns into a portal.
it explodes and turns into a tear.
Yeah.
Tear, thank you.
They haven't stabilized it yet, but yeah. What do we
Yeah,
have
and
here?
even Hair Doctor says, Hair Doctor,
Hair doctor.
Hair Club for Men says, we have a tear that will serve our purpose,
Yep.
Mein Führer. And I'm like, isn't that convenient?
Jawohl.
Excellent. Prepare my portal pants. Portal pants? Yes, it's a safe birthday suit.
Should. But while they're contemplating that, Bob disappears.
That's true. The whole gang's outside.
Yeah,
And they do
and
see the tear. You're right. They do
Yeah.
see the tear.
Yeah, because we're panning around all the ruins of Mainframe.
And they do see it. You're right. You're right.
And they're all just kind of hanging out. And even Andrea and Gavin see it from the mayor because we cut to them first.
Yeah.
And then Bob, he's a lot more mellow and astute in his older age, in his merging with Glitch. And he's like, Fong's alive. There's no other way that Megabyte would be able to get the access code to leave Mainframe.
Right.
And I'm like, see? Bob's not just a pretty face anymore.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, we don't have much time. And he gets Star Trek vaporized. He gets...
Yeah.
And then we cut to a scene. Hey, this looks familiar.
Holy shit. Yep.
Yep.
Sure.
Bob.
Yeah.
He's in Hexadecimal's lair. And
Yep,
she's
and
running
she's
around.
so bored.
And she kind of just floats around him creepily without really revealing her whereabouts. Like she
But
does.
it will be so much more interesting now that you're here.
Yes.
And
Evil
I'm like,
cackling.
Cheers.
Yes.
Oh, cheers.
And that is it.
Let's not forget, people, she's still here.
She's still here. She still thinks Bob's a sexy man because after all of her cackling, she's like,
And I'm like, right, of course. Fuck.
Yep.
Roll
Right.
credits. Folks.
And that's it. Roll credits, folks.
Oh, the episode's over.
Here on Alphanumeric, we have a 4-tier rating system.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is a 4-tier rating system. It ranges from starting at the bottom. This is bad, very bad, which is the lowest of the low.
High
Next,
code, if you will.
the high code. That might be. I hope we never get to a point where we actually have to rate an episode, especially as high code, but it could happen.
There's a
We've
secret
done no
button
Energon
here.
a couple of times on too much Energon now, so the hidden lower tier.
You have to unlock it with special bonus points.
Yeah,
Negative points.
dubious points.
That was bad. Very bad.
This is bad. Very bad. To I don't think so, which is episodes that aren't that great, but also aren't the worst things ever. To that was easy enough, which is episodes that are,
Good.
pretty good.
Decent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're not awesome,
decent.
but they're good.
To alphanumeric. I don't know.
Turn into
Wow.
I don't know what is
didn't
happening
know-
there.
I didn't know anyone else was gonna do that. That's
For the
awesome.
audio listeners, everyone kind of just simultaneously started
Spirit
flourishing
fingers.
like jazz
Jazz
hands in the same at the same
in the
time.
exact
Wow.
same time.
Yeah, alphanumeric
Well
is top
done.
of the top, cream of the crop, top of the hop, stop of the stop, shop of the shop,
Yep.
Top of the
fong
pop.
of the song.
Pop of the
There we
Song
go.
of the song.
Anyway, Snidler, what is your thoughts on this episode?
I'm gonna give this one an alphanumeric because I just love everything that happens in it. Yes, things are starting to get real. Things are starting to go down.
I feel like that
We're
could
back
just be that could just be like insert audio for
Yeah, why not?
any episode, basically.
You get to
I'm
start
gonna
the
give
clip
this one
right
an
here.
alphanumeric because I just love everything.
I just love everything that happened in this episode. These are like this last few episodes that we have on season 3 have got to be like some of my favorites because
There's
things are
episode
starting to get real.
for
Huh?
Snidler, and then there's alphanumeric for Snidler. Or at least that's what the meme is. In reality, I'm sure that's.
I'm a meme. I'm a meme. So yes.
Yes.
Anyone else?
Christina, Lady Glitch.
What's up?
That
All
way.
right. There's
What's your rating?
there's a lot of good things about this episode that I love. I mean, we get back together with all of our characters. We see in the flashbacks what actually happened in Mainframe, which is really good storytelling because they could have easily not written that shit in, and we could have been left to our own devices as to what actually happened. We see the effects of Megabyte on the system, how he's trying to get the fuck out, and the character interactions, what's going on in everyone's heads. I think it's just a fantastic episode. It's an alphanumeric for me.
Awesome.
Nice. The Cal of the Neo.
I had that problem with the very bad trope that led Fong to being caught, but holy cow, that's a stickler. It doesn't take away from the very alphanumeric rating of this episode. I mean, it's like, oh boy, they're gonna piece together what happened. They do it so quickly and elegantly and believably that I'm on board. They get you caught up with what's happening. They show glimpses of Megabyte. When we got to stop this. It ends with hexadecimal. I'm like, where's the writing been for this? And it just, because they have all the characters and they're in Mainframe, maybe this is where ReBoot was meant to be to be, right? And so this is so much better than so much of the episodes that are town or system hopping or in the web. It's alphanumeric for sure.
All right.
Christopher.
I can't really rate this episode because I only watched half of it. So no rating.
No, you rate it.
No, you gotta rate it.
No.
Man.
I can't
was your
because
rate when
I
you watched
literally I watched 15 minutes of it yesterday and wasn't able to finish it. So
You lie and you say alphanumeric.
Join us.
But they're all back together. So from what you did see,
based on what I saw, I would rate an alphanumeric.
woo!
There we go.
I enjoyed what I saw quite a bit, but I just wasn't able to finish the episode. So
You'll get caught up.
Oh yeah.
yes. So that has been the 13th episode of season 3 of ReBoot.
We did it, folks.
I want to give a special shout out to someone on YouTube who has been going through the motions.
Binge watching the
binge listening to alphanumeric,
Nice.
starting from episode 1. I've been getting notifications on my phone for the past like week or so now of like him just commenting multiple times on every single episode. So, YouTube user cute James.
Cute James.
Yep.
Awesome.
Cute
shout
James. How's
shout
it
out to you, cute
Cute
James. You are the cutest.
of the Jameses?
You're the cutest of the cute Jameses I know.
Yep.
Yeah.
You are twice the cute.
Yes.
That's right.
So thanks for your support. I don't respond to every comment you make, but I try to at least like them and whatnot.
Yeah.
And hope you keep listening. He, based on what I've seen, he just finished season 1. So
All right. So in a couple weeks, he'll be listening to this, and he'll hear our shout out.
yeah. Best way to support the show is wherever you are listening to and or watching this. Give it a like, give it a subscribe, give it a 5-star rating.
Trying to make an
Anything.
R with my hand, like an R gang symbol, but
White
hard.
chicks and gang signs.
Trying to make an R shape with. Don't know how.
Right.
I'm just gonna
anyway.
end with my Illuminati.
Carry on, please.
Yeah. Whatever. To follow the show, go to facebook.com/lasercomb, LAZORCOMB. That is the Facebook hub of every show that one or all of us is a part of and that I produce. Also, if you want to follow me specifically, you can do so on Twitter. I am at Lasercomb, spelled the exact same way. Snidler, you have Twitter too, yes?
I do have a Twitter, yes. It's at AP Snidler. APSNIDDLER. I also have a channel on YouTube you could follow if you want to see stupid videos of me opening vintage toys and whatnot. And an Instagram at AP Snidler. Spelt exactly the same.
Lady Glitch, you have the social of the medias as well, yes?
I certainly do. You can find me at Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at LadyGlitch619.
Cheers.
Yes.
And NeoCal.
You can find me on the Twitter sphere at Neo_Cal with a K.
Nice.
I'll find that guy that has NeoCal as one word.
And you will behead him and witness
and take all of his social media accounts.
For the glory!
You will behead him and you will experience the quickening and absorb his power. And
which entails absorbing all of
his social media accounts. Yeah.
They're mine now.
There can be only one. There can be only Neo.
Yeah.
Patreon. We have a Patreon account. Patreon.com/lasercomb. I've just revamped all the tiers, but to quickly go over it, for $2 a month, $2 per month, you get access to the Lasercomb Discord, and you also, when they become available, because they're not yet, but you get audio access to a upcoming Lasercomb Patreon exclusive podcast, Pilot Season, where we talk about the first episode of a show that's been recommended to us by our top tier $25 patrons.
Yes.
$5, you get all of that, but you also get outtake audio, which is like preamble shit where we spend literal hours before we start recording these, talking about this, that, or the other thing.
Yep.
$10 a month, new tier that I've just created. You get all of that, and you also get a new Lasercomb Patreon exclusive show, Lasercomb Tonight, where we talk about fun and interesting news, headlines, stories, and current events. One episode of that is live now. More to come every week.
COVID is gone. Canada thinks that COVID's gone, people. There's a hint. There's a taste.
Yep. Lasercomb tonight was pretty fun. I enjoyed it a lot. It's kind of the direction that I want to move in, is talking more about that kind of thing and less about 25-year-old cartoons, which I love.
No, not me. I didn't like it. I want to go back and talk about 90s commercials. I want to talk about Gak. I want to talk about Stretch Armstrong.
Nacho Man.
I want to talk about Nacho
I
Man.
got to be a Nacho Man.
All right.
I got.
$25 tier gets you all of that and also a t-shirt after 3 months. And you can also pitch us content for the aforementioned pilot season podcast, which we are launching soon.
Also, maybe we should just at the end of each episode shout out our $25 patrons.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, monthly shoutouts is literally one of the Patreon rewards.
Perks.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. But I thank you for reminding me, because I would like to actually give a special shout out to Game Sprite Mode, Kay. She is our first ever $25 patron. So
We have the same
Thank you very
name.
much. She's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Likes metal. So right there, I'm already like, all right, you're
Nice.
okay.
And my name's Kay. Her name's Kay. So
There you go.
Okay.
she's a cool person.
Okay.
Listeners are like,
we're
"I
also
thought your
going to
name was
be
Cal. Fuck you.
Extra perk. I'm hilarious.
for the
Right.
$25 tier. We're also going to be launching very soon. We're going to be launching another exclusive Patreon show called the Lasercomb Monthly Movie, where we do a commentary track just watching a movie.
I'm excited for that.
Yes.
Yeah, we're doing that very, very, very soon. I think the movie that we've settled on is going to be Batman and Robin.
Yep.
Yes.
So if you want to hear us watch and live react to watching Batman and Robin,
It's gonna be good.
subscribe to the Lasercomb Patreon for $25. I think that's about it.
Mhm.
We're gonna get out of here. I've been one of your hosts, Christopher Siege.
I've been another host, AP Snidler.
It's because I'm pointing out the screen for audio listeners. I don't know where they're oriented. I think Christopher's here.
Yep.
Snidler.
Yep.
Correct.
And then Lady Glitch.
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
I think this is actually the layout that it's been for the past couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
It has.
So-
Good.
Who
Yay,
else is
consistency.
Snidler.
Yes.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen.
That's all right.
And I've been another host, Lady Glitch.
All right.
Cal,
Jesus.
take us out.
And I, last host, Neo Cal, signing off. And as always, stay frosty, boys.
Words.
I bought Tankor.
Tankor!
Ooh.
Tankor.
I feel like that's what he would say.
Hodor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tankor, pulverize. Wait, wrong show. Anyway, bye-bye.
Bye.
Ha 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 ha!